It's actually three-quarter time at the time I'm recording this, but I have things to do, and let's be honest, we're not going to get a miracle at Marvel. But the Dogs, they're back in form. The Saints, they're back to being what most of us thought they were. And there's a little bit to talk about on this Thursday night, so let's do this. So the Dogs back in form, back playing good footy, and can I just say, as a Hawthorn fan, boy, am I glad they didn't bring this last week. Let's just put that out there. Second of all, me too, Bulldogs bets looked absolutely beautiful. Matt Kennedy said 21 to three-quarter time. Fingers crossed I'm not jinxing him. And the Bulldogs, their point line coming into this was 89.5 at the start of the week. I got on at 91.5. The line at the start of the game was 93.5. They blew both of them out of the water. So, love and life there. A few extra dollars in the bank for dazzling. However, in terms of the Dogs, the main takeaway that I've got is that they looked really good in positions that their number one target had a slow start in. So effectively what I mean by that is up forward, it was, yes, Sam Darcy returning, and I'll talk about him in a second, but Riley West had a really slow start to this game. You know, Josh Dolan got involved a little bit, and I know he's not the first guy that you think of, but it was a slow start. Aaron Norton was a relatively slow start. I think at the first three quarters, I think he's kicked 3 straight. He has, lovely. Right, but it looked like a slow start. It was a bit Darcy or nothing as they found their feet, but it was really good to see that they were able to gel together that third quarter, especially offensively. My goodness gracious me, they were dominating. But then also in the midfield, like the Bond got tagged, and I'll talk about Winhager I've just kicked the bin, but in the St Kilda section, but 12 disposals to three-quarter time. Their midfield still dominating. And then you got Libba, who I know hasn't been a full-time midfielder in this game, had 23 at the time of recording. Matt Kennedy, 21. Of course, at the time of recording, Trelaw 17. So, effectively, the messaging out of that is that whilst, yes, it is against a lower opponent, but the Bulldogs have got a pretty good run home, is it's not going to be the Bont or nothing in the midfield. Whereas you look at a side like Carlton, by the way, who, yes, have got the names of Walsh, Chera, etc. Could be a Matt Kennedy type, by the way, but I digress. If Jagger Smith didn't do his ACL, guys, no one would care. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here is it's not Bont or bust, right? Whereas it is for kind of Cripps at the moment, and Cripps hasn't been exactly in great form. I know the Blues beat the Bombers without a good Cripps performance, but still the point remains is that the Bulldogs are going to blow the Saints out of the water. Carlton couldn't do that to the Bombers, even though both captains and both midfield leaders were relatively quiet. Now, Bailey Dale got the game off to a rip-snorting start with his move off half-back. I was a little bit surprised that Winhager didn't go to him, to be honest. I thought it would either be Dale or Richards, but they went to the Bont, which is fine, until you realised, well, as the game's slipping away, there's actually nothing good you can do. You go to Richards, who at this point has had 17 disposals and kicked a goal, 13 of those kicks, and also has had 6 tackles. Like, do you go to him? Well, sure, but then you're going to let Bont off the leash, and at some point you're just too far out in front where the tag effectively doesn't matter anymore. If you want to keep doing it out of principle because it's going to maintain Marcus Winhager's form and ability as a tagger, I've got no problem with that. Did they start the right way? Well, I think a lot of people are going to say no because of Dale's start, but I don't actually think it was that big of a deal. But they were able to exploit it. They were able to get movement off half-back. Fraser as well, I should say. 16 disposals. Geez, I wonder who was onto him in his draft year. I wonder who mocked him about 15 spots higher than where he actually went because he saw the talent on the wing. This guy. Anyway, enough about me. Sam Darcy, of course we need to talk about him because he's back, and if you just kick it on his head, he will mark it. 208 centimetres tall. You're either going to chop his arms or he's going to grab it. If he gets accurate enough with his set shot goal kicking, he, to me, has the most 100 goals in a season potential of anyone in the competition because his game is the most simple. Whereas you look at, of course, the last player that did it, which was Bud, and I'm not saying Sam Darcy is Bud, by the way, right? But Bud could attack you in multiple ways. This was a guy that was 6'6", one of the biggest and best athletic freaks of all time for his position that couldn't quite overhead mark. Right? That was Bud's weakness. Ask any Hawthorn supporter, maybe ask any Sydney supporter, but Bud's weakness was marking above his head, which of course is not going to be Darcy's problem. With modern footy and the fact that so many teams just bomb it to the top of the goal square, if Norton is going to be your traditional centre-half forward, which I think he should be, and the guy that roams up the ground a little bit more than Darcy does, of course things are going to be on rotation. I'm not denying that for a moment, but if Darcy's going to be a deepest forward, I think he has got the tools, traits, and the modern game mechanics behind him to get to something like that level if it all comes together. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not putting it out there that he's definitely going to do it. I'm not trying to shock jock you. I'm just saying, of all the key forwards in the competition that only need a few things to go their way, and the Bulldogs are going to have the distributors, especially if they get Zach Butters at the end of this year, which I'm starting to think they might, which kind of scares me a little bit with that midfield. The sky is the limit for this guy. Tim English has been fine. I think he v Marshall's been relatively even, and Rory Lobb, I think, has done a great job. But overall, the Bulldogs came in. If you were worried about any kind of danger game, they blew that out of the water. And seriously, the fight for whoever finishes 9th this year is going to be stupidly unlucky. As long as it's not my Hawks, I'm happy. But it could be GWS, it could be Freo, it could be the Bulldogs, could be Hawthorn, of course, Adelaide, Gold Coast, whoever it is. They're going to be stiff to miss. That's the feeling that I've got. And the Bulldogs on this form is going to be a suggestion of, well, it's not going to be them. But you never know. It could be. But they did everything right tonight, and good on them. Let's talk about St Kilda, I suppose. Well, the big concern that I've got for the Saints at the moment is that if you look at their highest disposal getters right now as it stands, so their top 5 at the moment are 2 halfback flankers, their ruckman, their fullback, and 1 midfielder in Jack Macrae. So that's Sinclair, Wanganeen, Miller, Macrae, Marshall, and Wilkie. That is a bit of a problem. The midfield got monstered tonight. I don't care what the last quarter looks like. Oh, the Dogs have kicked another goal. Good on them. But I don't care what it looks like at the end of the game. When the game was on the line for the first 2 quarters, 2.5 quarters, their midfield was monstered. Absolutely monstered, which is going to be a big problem going forward. I can understand why they want to chase a midfielder from another club, because an 18, 19-year-old is probably not going to be the answer. Let's be honest. But you look at some of the guys in this side, why is Zach Jones, who I think might have been the sub, or maybe Jack Carroll was the sub tonight, but Zach Jones, what's he doing in this side for? Are you getting enough from Jimmy Webster? I would argue not really. Max Hall's young enough, so he's fine. But Hunter Clark, what's Hunter Clark doing? Cooper Sharman, who, look, St Kilda fans, when he had that really big third quarter against whoever it was, I don't actually remember. St Kilda fans went to me, Daz, you're being disrespectful. He does this and this. Yeah, he doesn't do enough. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Burns, is still in this side. We're not coming at this as if St Kilda are the finished product. And look, I have faith in the Saints' ability to draft. I think their drafting has been as good as nearly anyone in the competition in the last 3 years. Their problem, as is the problem with a lot of sort of middle to back end of that bottom, 9th to 14th kind of, or 10th to 14th range, I should say, are the guys that have played anywhere between sort of 25 and 75 games that are probably just not it right now. And I think they know that. Of course, they're missing Max King. They are missing a couple of guys. I understand that. St Kilda fans, I'm not coming after you. I have wanted to buy stock in St Kilda for a very long time. But the facts are facts, and they're just nowhere near good enough at this point. And how does it get fixed? Well, it's going to get fixed with time. I have a feeling that, Ross, because that's what happens with Ross, is going to be an interesting fallout from this. The Friday media, because there's going to be no other games to talk about, are probably going to go in on this. I don't think the Saints were ultra defensive tonight. I don't think the Saints structurally did a lot wrong. Their execution was abominable. The amount of times Mitch Owens or Isaac Keeler got on their bike and got themselves 2 steps ahead of their opponent and were missed. Not targeted, because you can be a decoy, you can create space, I understand all that. But the amount of times that they were missed on the lead would have torn my hair out if I was a St Kilda supporter, and I guarantee that they are out there and doing it. Now, of course, you guys will be getting the full-time stats and stuff as I put them up, but just some things to go over with 14 minutes left in the last quarter. They're minus 25 in inside 50s. Their goal efficiency is actually pretty good. Now, 25% is nothing that's, overwhelmingly spectacular, but 8 goals from 31 inside 50s, is not that bad when you compare it to everything else. The clearance numbers are actually even. The center clearance numbers are actually even as well, but that's not how it's felt watching the game. But the numbers there is really interesting. Turnovers are basically equal at this point. Yeah, the possessions are out of whack, I understand that, but the scary thing at this point is that they are minus 6 in time in possession. And for a team that want to rebound the ball and have it in their hands as they march the ball down the field, St Kilda want to score from their back half, that is the scary number for mine. 13 to 10 marks inside 50 is not that big of a deal, but there's no adequate number for the kicks that have been missed. So that's the big problem at this point in time. The tackles are relatively even. Tackles inside forward 50 is 15-2, and they're minus 15 in 1%ers. So effort has been really off in some areas. The execution has been horrible. And let's be honest, there is still half a dozen guys in that 23 that, if the Saints are going to become a really good side in the next couple of years, are simply not playing. And overall, it's probably a letdown of the fixture makers to have this on, because between the Freo game and this has not been promoting St Kilda footy at its best. So they're my initial thoughts, guys. I am recording this and there is still 12 and a half minutes left in this game. So going to be interesting to see what you think. Comment below. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to join the Darcy Hawks Footy family. I will see you in the next video. Hawks on tomorrow. Go the Hawks. Sorry, Crows fans. Good night.